I'm going to show you how to make one of my favourite recipes in the book. It's the chocolate beetroot brownie, which is a bit like a classic Claudia Roden orange cake with the addition of beetroot and chocolate. Imagine a Jaffa with a red velvet colour. What I love most about this recipe is that it's all done in the food processor or blender, which is what makes it a BBB, blender beetroot brownie. All you need to do is boil an orange and a beet of the same size until they're fork tender. Stick a fork in it, we're done. The rest of the ingredients are all things that you've probably got in the pantry, you know, some eggs, some gluten-free flour if you want to make it GF, you don't have to, almond meal, cocoa, and some sugar. Starting with the orange, and once the beet is cool enough to touch, you can just peel the skin right off. And here's my tip that I learned from Joan Roca when writing the book. Don't get rid of this water. It's full of flavour. So strain out the skin and use it as the base of a dressing. You're going to melt some chocolate and butter, and you can do this together. You're kind of making like a ganache. Now we're going to add one egg at a time with the motor still running. In goes a teaspoon of vanilla, your sugar. You can use coconut sugar, you could use maple syrup, and then blitz again. Now you're going to mix the dry ingredients all together. Walnuts, salt, and baking powder. So here is what you're going for. The cool thing about this recipe is rather than adding wet to dry, you're going to add dry to wet in the blender. Don't over mix. There's a couple of pulses is all you need. Get out your lined baking dish. Look at that colour. Arrange some thinly sliced beetroot on top, a bit more chocolate chip action. The salt, then bake it for 40 to 45 minutes. That is after 40 minutes of baking. Scoop this out straight out of the baking dish onto a plate and serve with yogurt or cream or ice cream, or just stick a fork in it. This recipe is very worth your while. It's gooey, chewy, chocolatey, and most importantly, the beetroot isn't hidden. It's a hero of the dish, which to me is exactly what Praise of Veg is all about. You got to get praising, not hiding, to fall in love with vegetables. Oh, shit.
What happened? You dropped the shelling. Right. Yeah, I just